was, and we will speak about it also. So yeah, and I think they have questions. Yeah, but don't forget that I'm under the stress and don't ask me much questions. Yeah. So when the issue of essence of concepts of value chain and its key parameters, the formation of this and actualization of this concept of a value chain was a result of the market globalization on the one hand, and the need to increase business efficiency to deliver the most value for the least possible cost. And this approach is first used by Michael Porter. I think most of all knew about this. And what we have today, now we will see. So this is the standard scheme of value chain. And we see here that we have two types of participants in value chains. This is actors or sometimes it's called like partners and supporters. And we must know when we are so I forgot that we must now speak about how better to introduce these things, this issue to others. Yeah. So at first we must begin from the general issue of what is the value chain, and then go deeper. And for this, we must know what type of actors could be. This is typical agricultural value chain scheme. This is input suppliers, here the farmers, then processors, wholesalers, exporters, and here's the global market. In the gray, we can see that this is internal market, and the blue, it's international market. We have supporters also. This is maybe financial or non-financial services or something else, government also, and local business environment. So we can see that flow of products is flow from input suppliers to end market, and money is back, and it's distributed through all participants. We must not forget that if we will not have one player, or not only one player, I don't mean the one farmer, one chain of players, the value chain could not work. But if we will not have some supporter, the value chain will work. When we began to build the value chain, what must be about what we must have some information. First is the focus of the end market. It means that we must know how big this market, what type of products it needs, etc., etc. Major players. Who are the players who are working in producing or selling this type of products, and what type of players are supporters? And second issue is value chain management principles, how these participants are connected with each other, what type of participants we have, how strong they are, what their capacities, knowledge, how type of products they have, etc. Interconnections between players, how they are connecting, and what is possible to do to connect them, because sometimes we have very good product, but we can't connect it with market. Yes. Business environment, it's very important also, because here we have some regulations, and when we talk about climate smart agriculture, we have here some additional requirements also, because sometimes it could be that we could use, for example, energy from sun, or in organic products we have some strict requirements of production, and etc. And so we must know about this information also. Support services. Support services is very important. If we will look, for example, today to Georgian practice, organic agriculture is now under the support of donors. Was long time. Today, government is began to this policy and support organic production also, and it's very good motivation for producers. So now the second step is to understand how this product is flow from producers to market. So we must know what logistic systems we have in our country, or in what can we do to export products. Yes, we have seven tasks: desired products, required quality, required amount, end consumers, special place, exact time, and lowest cost. And we must, our value chain must be in touch with these 7 tasks. If you have some questions, I maybe go so very fast, you can ask, yeah, in process, yes. So here we can see some types of value chains. This is value chain, for example, for Georgian market, how it works for agricultural product and from organic product also. So we can see that here we have input suppliers, farmers, wholesalers, processors, local retailers, and we have some non-financial, financial services. We have also the government subsidies. It's just started, and so they are not in this scheme, but it's there. And the next one is the export value chain. And here we see that here exporters and global retailers and global business environment also, because in European market it's need to have the EU certification for organic products, and it's don't need for local market in Georgia. So that's why here is regulations are changed, and all of these participants of this value chain must work in this environment. So issues to consider for creation value chain. At the level of market, what we must to do? We must make the market research and prioritize the end market, because for each product, the end market could be different. And which market we are choose, it's very important, because the whole value chain will change which market we are choose. At the level of players, the first step is to determine what type and how many players are needed to meet the market demand. Yes, to what extent is it possible to meet quantitative and qualitative demand? What potential do players have to meet demand, and what are the gaps that need to be addressed, eliminated at all stages of the value chain? It is also important at this stage to identify the key players who will potentially benefit most from launch of the planned value chain, and who are likely to have the highest motivation, because the distribution of money in value chain is very important issue. And maybe we can talk about this separately. At the level of value chain management principle, in the process of establishing value chain management principles, it is essential to consider the end market requirements for the product service. These requirements can apply to both qualitative and quantitative aspects. Requirements should be formulated for all stages of the value chain, should be specific and verifiable. The management principle should also include in-demand control mechanisms for all stages of the value chain, because if something will be wrong on each stage, the value chain will be destroyed. At the level of interconnections between players, it's really important to know how players have their trust to each other, how they are working with each other, etc. Because if, for example, the trust between farmers and distributors will not be created, the process will not go. At the level of business environment, we must know if they are possible to have some support institutions in country or international. It depends on which market we want to, in which market we want to sell our products, and how the bank sector is working, etc., and what certifications it's needed, and so it's very big issue to. At the support service level, also it's very important to have some survey and profitability forecast. We must count how profitable each step of our value chain. We must know how much costs the product in the entrance and how much will cost it, and how big is profit, because this is a main driver for players to be in this value chain. So you see, it's a little bit theory, and maybe you have some questions in this issue when we are go to more practical questions. No, everything is clear. My English is okay. Yeah. Okay. Business environment is changed every day, so we must be in touch with this, and we must always make some analysis of our value chain and what it means. So to make the analysis of value chain, it's need very high qualified group of professionals. But when we are working, but it's very costly. So that's why there are some additional methods to make some surveys ourselves. And what is the main issues for this? The first, relationship between key persons. This is very important. And second, motivation of these players, and decision making. How decision making is made in this value chain, and who is the main player. This is success is depend on this. How powerful is he? And what we can do? Study the participants' conditions. For each action, also study input and output data. Define criteria for entering and existing as a value chain. Study how different actors related to each other. Study information flow throughout the process. Learn the rules and regulations related to the value chain. Study the quantitative indicators of the processes in the value chain. This is a main activities what we must do when we are try to make the survey of our value chains, and it's possible to make some to take some stakeholders and talk with them, or make the group meetings with our players also. But we must remember that the information provided by them not always could be relevant to reality, and to make the survey of the reality of these answers is another issue also. And we have not, you see, like the formula how to be successful in value chain. It's every time it's very individual, and if this formula will be created by somebody, it will be formula for millionaires. Take formula, you and you are happy. Yes. So measuring results. When we are after our survey, we must make some recommendations or some plans to have improve our survey. But what is very important, the change and offers must be understandable and acceptable to all. If even one chain of our value chain will not be agree with this change and will not be happy, everything will be destroyed. All participants must have a financial interest in participating in the value chain. It's a very common situation in agriculture where, for example, processors are so strong that they don't take in, they don't are interesting in farmers' interests, yes? And sometimes they have then problems because farmers stop to produce these raw materials. The same is with distributors also. Sometimes they are want too much and don't want to give some part to another players, and that's why this value chain is stopped. I don't know how it's in so big countries like Turkey and Greece, but in development countries, this situation is still today very often we can see. So obligatory imposed on participants should be executable, yes. And so what we can do, say that this is a theory and this is the main rules, but it's not a, how to say, this is not a last formula. And I have a question. If you have not question, I have a question to you. All of you are working with some value chains, yes or no? Or only in education system? You have some practice here with value chains. And what you can say for according to this presentation? Yes. How do you think? It's right or not?
Value chain is quite
complicated
complicated
yes,
subject, actually. We all participate because we are end consumers. Yeah. After all, we are at the bottom of the local or global market. But still, if you have experience in other units of the chain, it would be nice to share.
Hello, I'm Valentina from Romania. I have one comment in two situations. It's a very particular shortened value chain in Romania, and I think that in Bulgaria and other countries as well. The base producers face the farmers face the following problem. If they are bold enough to bring their products to somewhere near a big city or a market, a regional market, at 1 or 2 kilometers before the entrance in the market or the city, they will be encountered by, let's say, distributors, mildly say. I will not approach the ethnic issue of their status, but they will go even for pressuring even with menaces towards the producers and the farmers in order to get their merchandise and dispose of it as they consider further. This is one. So the this is the Robin Hood approach of the problem, and this is unofficial, but this is the real problem. And these main players in the value chain on the distribution side make the rules on the market. In the market, where you and I go and acquire products with skyrocketing prices because they have the rules. And the second variant, official variant of this situation is for the dairy products, milk especially. I don't know if in your countries, but in Romania, milk is collected via agreements from the farmers, previous agreements, with a price like less than 1 cent, euro cent per liter. I buy the milk with like from official supermarket chain, like up to 2 euros per liters. Okay, I will not buy such milk because it's super processed, but nevertheless, in the market, the farmer, if they are bold enough, and if they go like this to acquire some pass from the market, I don't know what they are, market access. I will pay like €1.25 directly. But if I access directly the farmer, I will pay like half a euro per liter. This is milk. And what I described you for milk is the same for tomatoes, where they go and will be processed for ketchup and tomato sauce and everything by great producers. Who are these players, these collectors? They are contractors of big producers, not only in Romania, but international chain. And if I will be mean, I will name them. They are the most visible and active sponsors for activities like charity for green agriculture, activities for old farmers, and everything. So that kind, I find this social hypocrisy and economical hypocrisy. How do you approach these problems? These are real problems in my country, like now, like today. Thank you. Sorry for.
Yes, I think this problem not only in your country, but it's you see, out of frame of value chain issue. It's maybe more in social, in politic, in maybe criminal or some this level. But you see, okay, let's look your situation. These farmers are still producing milk for 1 cent. No, they stopped. Yes, stopped. So you see, if they stopped, it means that value chain is not working. For example, in Georgia situation with milk, opposite. The price of milk so high that for processors, it's no place for have profit, and they imported some milk powders and some other materials to produce milk products in Georgia. Yes, this is, for example, problem in our country. Yeah. And it means that, yes, opposite, yes. And for example,
I would argue here. Actually, they import and they use some things that are not allowed, because yes, this is also political, because our country is not regulating that yet. And this also makes problem. And it also makes problems that farmers who produce, they are paid minimum, while along the value chain, some actors may get especially in the situation you described, it's like that farmers don't have money, while other actors, especially in value chain, it is absolutely true also for the commodities that start developing. For example, this was the case in Georgia for hazelnuts, where hazelnuts became one of the main export products from Georgia. There were lots of people in the value chain, and it was also very bad for hazelnut reputation for Georgia, because they were trying to get maximum profits in between, not paying to farmers much, and also they were not caring on the quality of the product. And this was a disastrous situation. Now state started controlling, and also we have project with organic hazelnuts, and what we do, we try to shorten this value chain, that farmers can make their own organizations that directly sell to the processor, and then they take into their hands quality control. And this is where, in my opinion, it is very important in the value chains to have this type of approach, because if the food producer is not paid enough money to survive and to have normal life, normal income, that means that our food system is collapsing. It's under edge. It's really collapsing now, because this running to this cheap production, it finally is reflected on our health, on our environment, on our common well-being. It's not only farmer or something, and that we want to have products cheap, but actually, finally, this cheap production kills back and so.
And if we will go deeper in this problem, why it's possible? Maybe better to ask questions. How it's possible the situation is like you said? What? No. You now want to say that these wholesalers are bad persons and farmers are good persons, and etc. etc. This is can I finish sentence? So this situation is possible when the farmers have not culture of making business and nothing more. Because you see, for example, tomato producer farmers want to sell product when he have harvest. This is maybe 2 weeks in a year, yeah? And end consumer want to buy tomatoes every day. Yeah. So that's why this situation is possible, because who are more close to the end consumer? Wholesaler, who can collect from different farmers these tomatoes and provide you with it during all year, he will have more profit, yes? You see, it's another question that how much must be your profit and how much you give to farmers to keep him alive, yes? It's another question, but today, in such countries like our, the wholesaler is thinking about only today's profit and not for 10 years, for example, perspectives or something. Today and here, this is the main, but it's, you see, depends on time. For example, this hazelnut situation was different 5 years ago. 10 years ago, it was much more different, but in the beginning, it was, you see, it was like heaven for farmers, because the price was very good, was a small amount of these hazelnuts, And when the hazelnut plantation began to grow, these wholesalers began make, you see, some strict things, because they was interested to have more hazelnuts, and they give good price. Then and today they are time to, for example, take money back. Yes. Yeah. You see, it's like wild market, but it has the same, you see, reasons and mechanisms and processes. For example, our farmers don't want to work legal. Don't like. Yes, they don't want to give you paper or receipt or something. And when, for example, this wholesaler take this product, he must legalize it, pay money for this, and be under the dangerous that tax office could catch him for something. And so these risks he puts in this value chain. It's everything. It depends on what I mean under this collaboration between players. How big responsibilities took you, and how big responsibilities take us? How big rights have I, and how big rights have you? And this distribution of profit, it depends on this. Yes, not only I want. It's not working. And in such countries like, for example, French, and 200, 300 years this process is going, and they have some rules for this. That's why it's, when we are looking on this situation, we think that everything is okay there. There are also problems.
But different.
Yes, but different, in different level, yes, because these levels, they are past. Sorry, you want to say something? Yes.
Young farmers here. So I'm a young farmer, somewhere under 30, and debuting with my business, and I'm available to work my guts in order to obtain something from the land, from the soil. And what am I to do in order to ensure that my products will bring me benefits, normal benefits, and will reach the market, my target market, in an appropriate way? So what are the steps to establish a sustainable
I think
value
maybe
chain?
will be more clear everything. I will show you 3
Thank you.
different case studies
Thank
and
you.
explain you. And then maybe I will try to show you, we have 2 farmers with us also, 2 producers, and we can talk about their problems and opportunities and possibilities, what they did in this maybe last year, during last year. And it will be maybe more clear, because they are not, you see, I said that it's no formula for success. Everybody decide himself, and this decision is responsibility of farmer or producer. And on this decision depends his profit also, which is only his, and he can take. Yes. So. Yes.
I wanted to mention an example that could possibly be a solution to the problem Valentina said. And I recently noticed it in Greece, in potatoes, contractual agriculture. So that the product is insured by the farmers and the distributors side. And the price is determined. So it's it's an agreement, so that both sides are satisfied, yes, and the distribution of the product is ensured to the end market.
Yeah, I think that Maybe I don't understand exactly what you asked, but
It's
you see, I think that this type of agreements I talk when we are talking about responsibilities and rights and about distribution of profit according to this. Yes, if we have, for example, some such type of agreement, and for example, this year was bad weather. Yes, was, and totally destroyed by harvest. Some retailers give subsidy for their farmers in this case for
that's what
help
I'm
help
saying.
them in next year to have.
That's what I'm saying. In contractual agriculture,
yeah.
the farmer is ensured that if the produce is ruined, the distributor will still pay him.
And not only distributor, we have some
So the distributor
insurance companies and systems, etc. But this is a business environment. This is business environment, and this is not
exactly because we mentioned the profit of
Yeah.
the distributor.
Yeah.
The distributor will make a profit, but he will also take the risk.
Yeah.
If the produce is ruined, he will have to compensate for the.
Yeah, it's dependent on agreements. Everything is dependent on agreement. It's possible, but you see, for example, our farmers today, they are not ready to have some such type of agreements with distributors because, for example, today in milk production, farmers will not make with you, like, for example, you are factory, cheese making factory, yes, and want to make some contracts with farmers. No one farmer will sign such type of contract because he want to change price every day because this price of milk is jumping like I don't know how. And you see, only have rights to have compensation and have not responsibilities. For example, to keep price for some times, it's not working because if only one happy, nobody must be happy. Everybody, not only society. This value chain, all actors must be happy. Maybe not happy, but satisfied. Yes, this is the main task. And in all value chains, in all steps, we must make analysis of this. How happy are both sides who are in this chain, or in this directly on this place? Yes. So,
There is question or? So I wanted to say about Georgian example that sometimes it's Irakli also mentioned that our farmers are not yet at that level. Often, if there is no external support like organization like us that collect them together, that they have enough products to become interesting for the processor or distributor, because most of Georgian agriculture is very small scale. And in order to dictate price from farmer side, they have to have enough product to supply. So for that, it's important that they are together. And this common, this Soviet past, which we have, and the collectivization experience has very negative impact on that, because they don't want to cooperate anymore, because they feel yes, they feel risk for that. So that's why it's quite difficult to bring them together. But what is very important, I wanted to say, is that to keep this contact every time, contact farmer distributor or processor, so that these people along the value chain interact and exchange. Because as Irakli was mentioning, there is not a problem on only on bottom level or on farmers level or on distributors. So they have to make decision about how to develop this value chain, how to be better at all levels. And for that, this communication along the value chain and also discussion problems that they are having is very important.
So I want to say that the main issue is stability. Not how much I will have 10 cents more or 5 cents less, but I will have such amount every day or every year. And this is, you see, for people who are only now beginning business, and our farmers is such that. Some maybe time, maybe.
I'm very sorry.
Yes.
I just would like to ask you to keep microphone a little bit closer.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So I want to introduce some case studies. This is a very practical and real situations, which was and with which our organization worked. In the beginning of producing certified products in Georgia, the first certified product was wine. And these small farmers could not sell it. No, because supermarket is very expensive to go to supermarket. Export is impossible because small amount, etc. And what problems? They have very high quality products, and in degustation, in some sommeliers was tasted that, and they have very high quality, but they could not solve it. And what we make some SWOT analysis, and in your materials you have the SWOT analysis chart. So consumers is interested in to buy this product. Organic wine market exists, and its main part is located in a big city, and these farmers was in villages, and it was impossible to make distribution. It was very expensive. And conclusion of experts about the quality of the wine was positive. This is the contributing factors. And what was the interfering factors? There is no organic wine distribution company. Nobody wants to work with this. This was new product for all distributors, and it's you see, wine is maybe a very good example, because wine distributors wanted. They said, okay, I will sell your products, but you must take part in expenses for advertising your product. Yes, but these small wineries could not do this. So the shops are not interested in cooperation with small entrepreneurs, because it's always very big problem to work with small entrepreneurs, with small farmers, for all shops. And wine sellers are located in the regions, which complicates and increase the cost of delivering product to the market. So what we try to do, we try to make one brand for all of these wines. And one brand, what means that under our one umbrella, and this cost of advertising and everything shared between these winemakers. But in the label, they could write their name. For example, that time was the brand Berelli and Berelli wines, but for example, from Shota winery or something like this. And try to help them to go to big supermarkets. Success was that this wine became popular, people going to buy it. This was the first. And the second, some of these wine producers begin to make export. And this is very interesting moment because small amount, and when this small winery is exporting wine, he have not wine for local market, and he go from this joint, I don't know how to say, venture or something like this, from this group, maybe it's better to say. And the wine shelf became shorter and shorter in Georgia supermarkets, from which many new wine productions could start, yes? And so what we made then, we try to put some another products also under this brand. And till today, this is working. And if some small farmers wanted to sell their products, they could come under this umbrella and sell their products. And these small distribution companies, yes. Yeah, it's a first requirement, yes. So this is one case study for value chain of this type of products. The second was the case study. So yes, this was a small cooperative of honey producers, which want to make the export of their products. But you see, here is one big problem. To export your product in EU market, you must make the laboratory analysis, because our veterinarian service is not does not satisfy the EU regulations, meet criteria of EU regulations. So small farmers in this cooperative, and if
I'm sorry, can you please keep closer the microphone?
Okay. And so these small farmers, if we want to take this type of honey, honey to export, we must do what? We must collect it, make yes, and certificate together. But for this, we must certificate each small amount for different beekeeper. And why? Because if we collect it together and make one sample, for example, for laboratory analysis, and even one small amount will be with, for example, pesticides or something else, all amount will be restricted. Yes.
You have to make auto control to the first time to the farmer, to each farmers, to make his his own certificate of lot, and then
certificate each farmer, it's cost something around 1,000 USD.
But
yes,
this
but
is the
you
procedure.
see,
This is the procedure.
yes, and in this case, price is jumping out the market price, and
It's the
so
only
it
way.
was impossible. And what decision was made? This is most interesting, because they decide to buy small laboratory and make control. This laboratory is not accredited by some international body or something like this, but this for internal control. And why? It's cheap to make control of each part of honey which is collected, yes. Then we make one big bulk, and only one sample is went to the EU, but we know that here we have not nothing, and once pay this 1,500 euro for one sample. Only once. And so that's why it's possible now to have export of Georgian honey in EU market. This is a value chain also.
Same Same is in hazelnut, for example, what
Yes,
we
this
do.
is a third. This is a third. This is a third. Was problem with exporting hazelnuts, also organic hazelnuts, because it was very costly. And here is the figures. You will have this how big is cost of certification for hazelnut producers, and it's impossible to sell hazelnut in these prices. So here was another option. Here's group certification. Group certification, yes, it's very hard. It's need 2 or 3 years of working with farmers, because here we see this big importance of collaboration farmers with each other, and they must raise their knowledge in certification systems also. Some of them must be inspectors also and make cross inspections, etc. It's quite a huge and big system, but it's worked. 700 farmers now under this umbrella, and making export of organic hazelnuts from Georgia. 700, yeah. Yeah. Organic and UTZ now Rainforest Alliance certifications. Yeah. Yes, and so they because and you see, it's also was the project. It was from the third party made for this. This system was from third party made for these farmers. But maybe 10 years later, these farmers could create this themselves. But you see, today in Georgia, situation is so hot. Everything is very new, and this regulation, even our government don't know of some of them. Yes, and so that's why to use these possibilities to have more profit for farmers, I think it's a very good example also. So here we see one our student who is also a producer of local Rajian product. This is a ham, yes, ham from
Pork.
from pork. And
Smoked
how,
pork.
and he could not go to supermarket, could not go to shop, and what she do to make their own value chain and have profit. I think it better she will told herself.
Hello.
Because she knows English better than I.
Hello, once again. I'm very happy that I'm here finally, and our group. I decided to quit my job, which I've done approximately 12 years, and go to the production of some kind of things. This is the pork, which is smoked and traditional one, and we're making it from 2 months till 3 months. It needs from the start to the end. And we had a lot of things to be done, and I have a lot of things to be done in the future. The first was that I saw something that wasn't true. And I faced a lot of crises in my days that I wanted to cry all day, but I couldn't.
Sorry, without emotions.
Yeah.
Only about
The business was that the problem was that there was a lot of, for example, fat in this production, and I had a lot of loss. Then I decided to do some additional products, and I got some solutions. But the main case is that I can't go through the markets because I don't have certification. This certification costs a lot of money for me because I'm the startup right now, and I'm trying to reach this point when I will have this possibility to go through this, and it needs time. But there are a lot of producers who don't think about it, and they're thinking now to have their income, as Mr. Irakli mentioned, that they want the income today, and that's all. And this is a big problem for me, and there is no regulation in my country about my product. And the government is working at this.
More shortly,
Mhm.
okay, because we have not so much time.
Okay.
So what she decided? She sell her product on festivals, farmers markets, and such type of places. Yes, it's allowed. This is a short value chain. She works direct with consumers.
Direct sales are
Yes. This
allowed.
is direct sales. So the second one, he is business expert, but he is the son of tea producer. And when he graduated institute, he went to tea plantation and saw that something he don't like what his father did there. And now he make analysis. We talked when we was in plane, yes, about these problems. Yes. And he told that he make some analysis of value chain of this tea production, of his father tea production, and found some gaps. Very big money they are lost in the gathering, harvesting, because labor force is very expensive. Yes. The second one was that his tea is sold only by bulk without brand, and another people are packaging it and have a big profit. And now he investigate that possible to create some technology which is need not so many labor force, and it will be much cheaper than today. And the second, that he decided to make his brand and go through the market. His brand, his father's name used by another producers. They are packaging and the name that this is Taniashvili tea. And so, and he decided now to make this brand and go to the market with end product. Yes. So you see, the situation are very different, and decisions are different also. And it's impossible to say that this is right and this is not right, because in one situation it could be right. You see, who is right? He have profit, and he have biggest part on is his profit. This is a rule. Who took more responsibility? He took more. This is a basic. So another questions?
Online participants, if you would like to ask something or to comment or to share a story.
So I will finish with some issues about maybe methodology. I think that everything is depend on students, which students you have and what background they have. Only theoretical, only practical, both or nothing, because everybody wants, today the business and management and value chain is very fashion, and everybody thinks that if they will graduate in this course, they will be businessmen. But to make their dreams closer to reality, I think the methodology must be at first, the background must be theoretical knowledge about how this, what is the value chain, how it's worked, what rules are there, and what we must know about this concrete value chain, because only to know how to connect peoples, it's not enough also, because you must know technology. You must know, for example, in the agricultural value chain, you must know agriculture, you must know marketing, you must know, I don't know, maybe some social issues also, entrepreneurship, some legislation, etc. And that's why it's sometimes not a job of one person, because to know everything, it's impossible. Yeah, it's hard, but the main is that people who want to do this, they must have very good analytical skills. Maybe they will not be professional. You see, in practice, most of successful businessmen are not graduated these business schools. Yes, yes. Maybe they hired somebody, but most of them, but they make right decisions. And to make the right decision is the main thing in this value chain development. Yes, if some.
Last chance for questions
Yes,
or
and
comments.
we students to work with case studies is very important also. So theoretical part and practical part is must be
In this module as a
in
must.
this module,
Yeah,
yes.
sure. Thanks. Thank you very much, Irakli. And we know that you're very tired and stressed and everything. Last chance for questions, comments also from the online audience. Just a sec.
Who have small and very small lots, entering and organizing themselves in a cooperative. In Romania, I saw this situation working in one moment as an engineer with farmers. And the problem is that they, as you very well underline, there is no knowledge or very little knowledge about doing business. They know how to work their land, but in the same time, they're very reluctant to join, because we have a very sad history of cooperatives, of joining under socialist, you know, all the story. So the situation in Romania is the following. We have very small, lots of very small owners with up to 10 hectares. It's very, but Romania is an agrarian country with large fields and everything. Yes, we have also with 1-2 hectares, lots of 1-2 hectares, up to 10 hectares, and of course, it's beginning to look like this. Large investors, mainly from EU, Portuguese, Spain, Italy, and even Turkey, are now the owners of very large portions of Romanian farming land, and they are making the rules. Of course, we have some Romanian major players. There are 2 or 3 in Romania. And my question is, how are we to help the small farmers to continue to be farmers and to make agriculture, and not swifting towards, how should I say? Yes, you understand. Maybe the boys would like to.
Situation, and for example, our organization decides to help them to be organic farmers and produce organic products. This is one. The second is local product, and because big farms, in big farms, it's very hard to do these 2 things. And this is open market for the small farmers, and it's opportunity to have additional income, not because to fight with big farmers, it's impossible for small farmers. If you will make some, I don't know, agreement with government and it will pay some subsidies for small farmers, I think it's not a real decision. Yes, it maybe works some in short period, but in long period, it's not effective. And this specific type of products, high quality products, not you see, not mass products. It's our option for this type of farmers, and we try to do this in Georgia. And you see, it's not always success have success with this, but sometimes it goes better, sometimes it goes wrong. But for example, this is two examples of such type of producers you can see here, and we have much more this type of producers in Georgia. I answered your question or not? Situation. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 From Georgia going to Romania to build some building somewhere. Also, yes. Yeah. 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 Cooperative
I'm
is very
sorry
good
again
option,
for
but it's need.
reminding. I'm sorry again for reminding. Please speak with the microphone a little bit closer and loud.
But to repeat this everything, I think it will not be possible. So I think I will say something. Cooperative is very good option, but cooperative is very hard managing system. I think it's most hard managing system. LTD is much more simple, and even some corporation it's much, because in some you see how it's named this in English I don't know, but for it's in shareholders, because they are people come with money, put money, and there are very simple rules how to take profit and etc. And in cooperative, we have two types of dividends. One is the dividend from capital, and the second is dividend from economic participation, the economic participation or contribution, yes. And to manage these two type of dividends from each cooperative member, it's needs a very high qualification in accounting, in managerial skills, and etc. And so I think time will come and cooperative will be successful in our countries also. But today, only few of them could make some activities, because 2,000 cooperatives was created in Georgia. Yes, during last 7 years, 7, 8 years, 2,000, but today is working something like maybe 100 in paper, and maybe in reality something like 50. These cooperatives are different. They are in specific products, in mass products also, more in mass products, because you see this cooperative is made to reach market, to have some access for some machinery, and it's very expensive, and it's needed to win big production, or some processing equipment or something like this. Yes, because I have not enough money, you have not, but together we can do something like this. But when we have not money, we have no problem. When we begin to have money, the problem is coming directly the time. And we begin to speak, you are made more, I made less, etc. And our cooperative is running different places. Yes. So